Welcome back to another episode of Mocked Draft right here on the Feo Grande YouTube network. I am Bill Smith, and I am joined as always by the man, the myth, the legend, Feo Grande himself, Omari Ellis. Omari, we are back with Mock Draft. This isn't one of our fun, goofy ones. We drafted Looney Tunes. We drafted Jim Carrey characters. You and Emmett drafted cereal mascots to fight to the death. But we are coming back with our original episode of Mock Draft. That is going to be our wrestling draft. We have a wrestling fantasy league going on where we drafted a series of competitors. You can see them laid out below us here. These competitors have been earning us points every week for the last several weeks. This is going to be a long-term adventure for us here. And we are at a intersection point. Act 1 has ended. Act 2 is about to begin in the wrestling calendar. So we're going to take this opportunity to shuffle things around a little bit. What we get to do here is, as you remember from episode 1, we have multiple categories. We have men's, we have women's, and then we have tag. 4-4-2. The tag can be men or women. Doesn't matter. And in this episode, we are going to have the option to remove one from each category and replace it with someone new. That is going to occur in a snake draft order until we conclude. Now, on a special edition, a special version of our wrestling draft, we are adding a wild card slot. Now, this wild card has a special thing about it. It's not going to earn you any points off of wins, Omari. It is only going to earn you points off of losses.
Interesting. Okay. So that's the new category. That's the one we have to draft if we're drafting one because it's empty. All right. Wild card.
So, before we get into the meat of this, once again, our teams are laid out below. Omari, let's go through our Act 1 as we've seen it. Give me a few notes about your team. Who were your MVPs? Spoiler.
Spoiler, my MVPs are behind me. The person with the most points for me is this one right here, Nia Jax. And
Long live the queen.
And then we got Gunther over here, the Ring General. Gunther.
Hail the king.
Yes, indeed. So the two of them got me the king and queen of the ring titles, which I desperately needed, considering I'm about 20 points or so behind. However, Jade Cargill also got me about the same amount of points that Gunther did. And Damian Priest, I just wanted to capitalize off of whenever he would lose that title, and he has held on to it. If I have two regrets, one of them, Mr. Dragunov, I was really high on him and trying to get him as a sneaky. They may not have been ready for this, but he's gonna get me some wins. That ain't happened. My other one was the pick I thought was gonna be sneaky, so I waited on it. She's laughing at me on the other side of the screen. Liv Morgan is about the only regret that I had. There was like, I wanted to draft him, but type shit. But overall,
who did you draft instead?
Instead of Liv, I think I got Io.
Oh no, I'm referring to the lady who's not here anymore.
Oh, so not here that I forgot. I drafted the current champion. I drafted the current champion at the time, Becky Lynch.
Which, if we could go back in time and replay, I think I went a little something like.
I was like, well, they brought her back because of the Rhea thing, and she's just gonna Hogan this stuff. that ain't what happened. She lost immediately to Liv Morgan. So that had happened, and I was like, all right, well, I did not know that they were starting to build up Liv. I just wanted Liv as kind of a dark horse. But she was a very bright Pegasus, and I didn't realize it. Yeah, but all
Yeah,
in all, I am still satisfied because these two are wearing crowns right now.
I mean, that was the first big moment of the act was going to be King and Queen of the Ring, which we said were going to earn us 10 points if you won that thing, because all of our once a year opportunities are going to be 10 pointers. Money in the Bank, King and Queen of the Ring, Royal Rumble winners. And so in that scenario, when in the fourth week of our season, you earned 20 points in a single night. I was in full on panic mode. Full on panic mode. And as you referred to at the start of your thing, yes, so like our numbers would be like right around here in the corner of our screens. Um, I am you are currently at 66 and I am currently at 88. And that is due in large part to my two MVPs here, Mr. Cody Rhodes, the WWE champion, and Miss Liv Morgan, the World Heavyweight champion. But they, in all, have I think only matched your two MVPs. So I don't really have somebody who's doing crazy numbers. I have a lot of even distribution and competition. I still have my women's WWE champion Bailey, who earned me a total of 7 points. I kept my Intercontinental champion Sami Zayn, who has.
What?
I'm so sorry to Sami Zayn. I'm so sorry to Sami Zayn. I never added up your points. You are actually my MVP. Sami Zayn has earned me 14 points.
Oh, so he's tied with Naya here for me.
Yes, he has had a title match in every pay-per-view this act, as well as two winning matches on Raw. So that's about, I mean, that's as great as you can ask for a champion. Uh, I also have one Money in the Bank winner in Tiffany Stratton, who ended up earning me 11 points. I was very concerned because she earned me a total of 0 points up until the last 2 weeks.
I was one pay-per-view away from her being your pretty much dragging off and us like going even
Yes.
on like those picks.
Yes, I was very concerned about her. And then my other thing is Jay Uso. Jay Uso, like I think literally the day before we drafted, WWE announced him as the new face of Raw because Seth Rollins was out injured, CM Punk is out injured, Drew McIntyre is having a story. He's a villain now, and he's having a storyline directly with CM Punk. Um, and then he, from that moment forward, proceeded to not help me a ton. He still at the end of the act earned me a total of 5 points, but I was really thinking that he was going to be next in line for the World Heavyweight Championship. I still hope that he has a singles title in his future before he has to rejoin the Bloodline and his brother, which I want to see. I want to see all that happen for him and that storyline kind of have that great button on it. But I would love to see him put a stamp on his time alone away from the bloodline with a title or something.
Yeah,
So
I regretted not getting him at first when you picked him. I'm like, damn it, I wanted Jey Uso.
I'm also I'm excited that Awesome Truth was able to hold it as long as they could. I was afraid like they were someone who could have lost it the day after we did the draft, and I wouldn't have been surprised. But they were able to hold the title for about halfway through this act, maybe even a little bit farther, as well as me attempting to predict that DIY was in line for the SmackDown titles, and they are now your SmackDown Tag Team Champions. So I also was happy that that ended up coming to fruition as predicted.
Yeah. Great choices in those.
Okay, so we're gonna go on to the main event here, doing the shuffle.
Indeed, we're doing the
Omari,
shuffle.
as our second place person currently in the standings, you will be starting us off in the draft.
All right, and you mentioned like that we have the option to drop one from each category and replace them or keep it the way it is.
Correct.
So we can make a max and then drafting the wild card as well. So we can make a maximum of 4
Moves.
decisions through this. All right. So that said, I'm gonna go ahead and get my first one out the way. We kind of alluded to it earlier about one of my regrets and how much I forgot about her. I'm gonna drop Miss Becky Lynch. And I am going to pick up the returning Rhea Ripley.
Yep. Yep.
And that is going to be my first pick, is dropping Becky Lynch and picking up Rhea Ripley. Just in time.
Completely understandable. Completely understandable. I am going to use my first drop and add to take away the awesome truth from my team. I love you, R-Truth. I appreciate everything that happened with Awesome Truth in these last few months, and I'm glad you held it for so long. I am going to be re-adding the team that beat them, the Judgment Day, made up of Finn Balor and JD McDonough, the current Raw Tag Team Champions.
I thought about getting them myself. I'm smart. All right. In the snake draft, right?
Oh, right. That's correct. That's correct. Okay, so that means that I have to do something.
Yeah. No, the
Okay.
awesome truth. Okay.
Oh, yeah, yeah. No, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna start talking to help the time with the dead air.
Right. Um, so I'm struggling here, Omari. I'm struggling. I don't there are things that I can do, but it's tough. It hurts my heart to do them. And I don't know what to do in its place. So I am going to delay those decisions and add my wild card. And it's my favorite loser, Chelsea Green.
We'll see green.
Chelsea Green will be only earning me points for losses.
Okay.
And her points escalate as if they were wins. It's the fun of the wild card. There, if she happens to find herself in a title match, which is obviously unlikely, her loss is as if she won.
Yeah, that is true. Oh, okay. So did not expect you to go for that category. Be honest.
I just don't know what I'm gonna do
I know.
in
I
my
was
other
kind of hoping
two
you'd make my
decisions.
decision. I was kind of hoping you'd make my decisions easier. by picking something else. And you went with Judgment Day already as well. So I'm like, oh, there goes my initial idea for the tag team. that I was gonna try to pick up. So that said,
I've put 1 minute on the clock.
okay, that's it for my. I'm gonna do the other thing I knew I was going to do, and I am going to drop Ilya Dragunov down to my wild card as
Oh,
my thing. I wanted to do this a bit later, but I'm gonna do it now because I knew I was gonna do it. Because he is still on TV, but he's losing every week.
interesting.
Are they? What do you think they're gonna start pushing him? Because he's wrapped up in the Intercontinental with Braun and
No, no,
Dude.
no, 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 no. I just didn't think about that as an opportunity for you.
Yeah, like he has been on TV all these weeks, but they have not been using him for wins. Now, it could be I'm making the wrong decision at the wrong time, and this is when they start giving him those
I don't know what
victories.
program he would have. That's the problem.
Yeah. Oh, like fair.
Yeah, so I mean, I think you've made a good decision. I just didn't see it. I'm putting 1 minute back on the clock for you.
All right. So now I need to replace my men's division person, and uh, they're gonna go back and forth. I have to pick one. I'm going to pick Drew McIntyre and get him. I'm getting Drew McIntyre.
That's a good that's a good selection. That is a good selection.
There are
Um,
others who I could have chosen, like the guy he's feuding with and is constantly trying to screw him over. But I
yeah,
feel like when the matches start between those two, there will be some back and forth. Also,
yes.
Drew, despite being screwed by Punk, still had the Money in the Bank win and the other thing.
Yeah.
So I'm picking Drew.
Yeah. And then the problem with the other side of that coin is how many matches he really going to do. So if they're not for titles, then what's he going to earn you? He's going to earn you 1 point for a Raw and 2 points for a pay-per-view.
He's gonna earn me more
No,
than Ilya Dragunov.
I'm not talking about the Drew McIntyre.
Oh,
I'm talking about
just
CM Punk because Drew McIntyre
gotcha.
will wrestle other people too while he's
Yeah,
actively feuding with CM Punk. But CM Punk is going to wrestle what 5 times in the next 7 months.
yeah,
Um, so like, and that's if we're all lucky. So yeah, I think that's a good pick, and I don't know I don't know if CM Punk is a route to go there. So I think you made the right choice.
yeah. I'm not
Um,
dropping Damien or Gunther. They're fighting each other at SummerSlam.
okay, so for me, I am going to put 1 minute back on the clock. Okay, we're at 1 minute on the clock. Um, all right, so I'll talk this out a little bit. In my men, I have Cody. I have Jay. I'm not going to drop Cody. Cody's not being dropped, even though he could lose here soon. Um, I have Jay Uso on the
Just him,
bubble.
Moose.
I have Sami Zayn, who's my current Intercontinental Champion. I can't drop him. And I have Braun Breaker, who's likely the next Intercontinental Champion. So I'm not going to drop him. My women's side, I have Bianca Belair. I have Bailey, the champion. I have Liv Morgan, who currently has a World Heavyweight Championship. I have Tiffany Stratton, who currently has the Money in the Bank. They often eat pins a lot right after they win Money in the Bank. I am going to drop Jey Uso.
Yeah, I was about to say you have one
And I'm going
option,
to
and it's
add
just
Seth
him, Moose.
Rollins.
That's a good option as well.
Oh, nope, I did it on the wrong card. Down here.
I'm
Where's
not
my
gonna lie, I thought you already had Seth. But no, that's a great choice.
All right, I'm fucking up our sheet here. There we go. Drew McIntyre is in its place, and then removing Jey Uso and Seth Rollins. Okay. And then do I still have to do a second one?
Um, you can, yeah. I think all you have left is women's.
Omari, I am locked.
You are locked.
I'm
All
locked.
right,
I'm not going to make a final drop.
all right. So that comes back to me, and I thought about the tag team I wanted during all of that. I'm going to drop A Town Down Under because even though they had the titles longer than I thought they would, they didn't really do much with them, and they lost it. And
Yep.
that's not a team
They're
that
teasing
stays
a
together
breakup.
forever.
Makes sense
I'm
to
gonna say
drop
that's
them.
not a team that stays together forever.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Dawnfire. I don't know the actual name of their team, but Alba Fire and Isla Dawn,
Unholy Union.
Unholy Union. Yeah, I'm gonna go with them
Because
as my
they're the
tag
current
team.
champs.
They are the current champs. I don't have many champs on my side of the card anyway. I've got Damian Priest holding on that title longer than anybody thought he would. I just wanted an easy 5 points or easy like 2 points when he lost it. I thought immediately,
Mm-hmm.
but they have let that man hold that title, and he's been doing good with it. I kind of figured Logan would still keep his, and yeah, I'm gonna go with those two because they surprised me, and I'm like, okay, they clearly are higher on these women than I thought. Let's see how they take it for the next act. But yeah, go and that with that, I've made all four choices because I did the women's, the men's, the wild card, and tag. So I am also locked.
All right. My instant thought is missed opportunity on both of us, possibly for LA Knight, who could likely be the next US title holder.
Yeah,
Um,
I keep forgetting about him. I
yeah,
don't.
that's
I don't watch
unfortunate.
weekly enough. I don't watch weekly enough to remember him because obviously I would because the
Yeah.
pops, the craziness.
Seth Rollins' choice on my part was a heart over mind thing, but also that I mean he's back from a injury stint. He's healthy. Even if he's not in the world title picture, he'll
He'll be getting
be
some matches.
he'll be on TV. Yeah, he'll do some matches. I hope he earns some points. If not, be in that title picture maybe right after Gunther takes it there behind you. Maybe a program with Seth Rollins is right up his alley. So could be doing that. But I feel like the smarter choice in hindsight should have been pre-drafting LA Knight, who has been claimed to have been owed something for a while now, hasn't really gotten that. If he does get that belt, I would imagine he'll hold
Mhm.
on to it for a minute. So that's probably a missed opportunity, but we'll see on that one. Do you happen to think of anybody sitting undrafted that you're
I just because of a hard over mind pick, but I eventually used my mind because I like both wrestlers. I like me some Braun Strowman. I want him on my team just because he's Braun Strowman,
yeah,
but only so many spots. He's not gonna be in anybody's title picture whatsoever anytime soon. And I'm not sure how much he's actually being used on TV right now because there's so WWE and AEW, like wrestling in general, is in a good spot right now where there's actually a lot of people that a lot of people want to see. So sometimes you got to make the hard choices. I was also out of time, so I said goodbye to Braun Strowman, and Drew McIntyre is now my member of my team.
that's
Will
fair.
my dreams be broken? I don't know. I'm gonna try to make them come true, but
And
not for you.
and then there's also the looking forward, soon to be returning, likely a Roman Reigns, a The Rock, a the John Cena.
much like with Drew himself, I feel like I'm gonna regret not doing the preemptive thing because I did consider doing that for Drew, but I had no idea how long he'd be out. Same thing with Seth in the first draft.
Uh-huh.
So, and then he came back. I'm like, damn it, I could have gotten him, and he won Money in the Bank. Damn it. Whatever, I'm getting him now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's risky to not to have Roman undrafted until after Survivor Series is when we're gonna meet up again. So you have a number of things going on there. You have SummerSlam, you have Bash at Berlin, you have they are bringing back the pay-per-view Bad Blood. That is going to be happening. I wonder if there's any
I think that's when Logan loses tonight.
factions.
They don't like
Uh,
each other.
I wonder if there's any factions that maybe have something to do with blood that could be heavily featured in a show called Bad Blood. That's the other thing is not one of us has drafted a member of the new bloodline. Tamatonga, Solo Sokoa, Jacob
Oh,
Fatu. Jacob Fatu is going to be murdering people.
he
He is
is.
already depicted as a straight up murderer.
I uh mental lapse.
You know, we only have one drop and one ad for the men's category. I feel like Seth Rollins. I was in panic mode because I wanted to talk. I was talking through all of my names, and then I realized that I only had 12 seconds left. And as I was running through my names, the one that most felt droppable was Jey Uso. So I
Yeah,
in desperation mode said Jey Uso and Seth Rollins. If I would have thought
kind of how
about
I
that,
felt about Drew.
if I would have taken that 60 seconds to really think about dropping Jey Uso and who to add, I would have probably then thought about Solo or LA Knight or a Jacob Fatu. But
Yeah. The points weekly, thinking about the Jacob Fatu. I don't know if I would have thought about it in the time limit, if I'm being honest, just because I'm not watching it the week to week. But I do see the highlights on Twitter all the time of him just killing people. So I probably
yeah,
should have. Oh well, we'll see how things go in Act Three. Maybe we'll have a better idea of like the landscape of stuff with that. Maybe, maybe be a closer competition. Some of the decisions may work out. Maybe the gap is even wider, and the final two acts of the season are gonna require some heavy thinking. We'll see, though.
yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. We know at least right now that we are going to meet up again after the week after Survivor Series. And then beyond that, we are going to meet up either after the Royal Rumble or after the Elimination Chamber, whichever feels right, before we can finalize our lineups for that last push into WrestleMania. So really excited to see what comes of the full year, and then it's on to season two, baby, where we broaden this thing out. I want more competitors so we can shrink the draft pool even tighter. It's even more cutthroat. I mean, you don't have people like we wouldn't have people like CM Punk and all of these folks just sitting on the ground not doing matches, or
Yeah,
not earning points.
yeah. This
So
is season one. We're trying to get the groundwork so that we can expand to the extra stuff. We got to get the
absolutely.
groundwork first.
What else? What else we got going on this network,
Well,
Mari?
well, Tuesdays, you and I, we have a show called This Guy Hasn't Seen, where we trade movies and various other forms of entertainment back and forth. One guy's seen it, other guy hasn't. It's a good time, usually reviewing those. Wednesdays, we have the Whatever We Want podcast with a good friend of mine, a good friend of the show, Super Jazz.
Super Jazz.
Thank you very much. As nature intended, we talk about just that, whatever we want in that particular day and time. And on Saturdays, Bill and I have a show called You Don't Watch Sports. Two guys, three topics, sprinkle some information into your casual sports conversation as we guide in life through the sea of sports talk. I also have a Twitter and Twitch at Giotami. That is Giotavi. Come on in, stop on by. Yeah, so I think that's what I got with me. You got anything else you want to say to the folks, Bill?
No, sir.
All right. Well, we will see you guys in the next one. Adios. My chair's dead. Oh, I did it.